What are the biggest sources of food waste in America?
Well, when you look at food waste, where it comes from, you think about the entire food chain. It's really distributed fairly equitably from farm to fork. But whenever I talk to individuals, I find that many of them just assume that it comes from elsewhere. But in fact, there was a study in New York, and they looked at one county's food waste. And the conclusion they came up with was that the majority of it, 40%, or the largest portion, came from households. So there's good and bad news there. The bad news is that we're pretty darn wasteful as individuals, but the good news is that we can really have an impact on the issue.
Well, we're going to come back to that. We're going to kind of go from the farm to the store to the home. Michael Dimock, what do you see as some of the causes of all this waste? You study the food system in a systemic way. What's underneath the waste of our food?
I think the primary thing is how we think. I think the primary challenge is really of the 21st century about how we think about the world, and the fact that we even conceptualize that there is waste in the food system is the beginning of it. Because all of the food that is in the chain is actually organic material that has value somewhere else in the chain. And so it's really changing our consciousness about what is waste or what is not. That's the first step in changing, really combating this problem.
Well, let's get down to the farm. AJ, you're a farmer. You have a farm. What are the sources of waste on farms in California in particular?
Well, if you think about it, whether you're a fruit and vegetable grower, whether you're a wheat grower, in our country you see a tremendous drive to try and always enhance your efficiencies on farm, whether it's in terms of production or your harvest. You know that there's a tremendous amount of waste that does take place in the culling of grade A, #1 stuff. There's a lot of perfectly good fruits and vegetables, for example, that never make it into the box. There's a lot of products that, because of the pickiness, as you say, of a consumer or the pickiness of a chain store, that don't want to see product that's marred, that actually will rot a little bit faster if they don't sell it fast enough. So there's a driver for waste in that respect, in just our grading system. There's a tremendous amount of waste sometimes if we can't get to a product because of weather. Or there's an impact in your harvest systems. But I think what's a big difference between where we are, say, in the United States, as opposed to some of the developing countries, you hear that we waste about 25–30% of the food after it gets on the table in the United States. In so many other countries, they're losing about 40% before it ever gets to the table. So I know we're going to talk about the United States today, but in the bigger picture, we have tremendous inefficiencies on both sides, both pre-harvest and post-harvest.